Imagine this, a crowded, glittering ballroom filled with laughter, music, and the clinking of champagne glasses. But the camera doesn't linger on the wealthy guests or the sparkling chandeliers, it zooms in on her. A tired young waitress with a faint smile, balancing a heavy tray, trying to stay invisible in a world that never noticed her. And right now, her life is about to change forever. Stick around to the very end, because what happens after she finds a childhood bracelet in the pocket of a billionaire will leave you speechless. If this story touches you even a little, don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel, because stories like these are worth remembering. Her name was Aisha. She had been working double shifts at the luxury hotel for weeks, saving every rupee to support her ailing mother and her younger brother's education. Each day felt the same, smiling at strangers who barely looked her way, hiding her pain behind polite words, and watching the glittering lives of the rich from the sidelines. Yet, in her heart, she carried something no one could see, a void left by a childhood she lost too soon. That night, the city's most influential billionaire, Zaydin Malik, was hosting a charity gala. His name was whispered like a legend, a man who built an empire, who walked into rooms like he owned the world, who had everything Aisha didn't. She had only ever seen him in newspapers and on TV. And now she was serving drinks at his event, trying not to tremble as she weaved through the crowd of powerful men and women. While clearing a table near the stage, her hand brushed against a chair. Something metallic slipped out of a guest's jacket pocket and clinked onto the floor. Curious, she bent down and picked it up, and her world froze. It wasn't just any trinket. It was her bracelet. The same delicate silver chain her father had given her when she was 7, engraved with tiny stars. She had lost it years ago, during a time when her family's world fell apart after her father died. She had searched everywhere, but it had disappeared along with the last traces of her childhood innocence. Her heart pounded as she turned the bracelet over in her palm. She wanted to cry, to scream, to demand answers. But when she looked up, her eyes met Zaydin Malik's. He had seen her holding it. His expression flickered, recognition, then something deeper. Before she could speak, chaos erupted. A group of masked men stormed the ballroom, shouting and pushing, their eyes wild with desperation. Guests screamed, glasses shattered, and the music died in an instant. Zaydin immediately stood, his voice firm, commanding the guests to stay calm. But his eyes kept darting back to Aisha and the bracelet. He pulled her close, shielding her from the panic as the men demanded money, jewelry, anything of value. Trembling, Aisha clutched the bracelet tightly, as if it could somehow protect her. In the chaos, one of the masked men grabbed her arm, accusing her of hiding something valuable. Zaydin didn't hesitate. He stepped forward, putting himself between her and danger, offering his own wallet and watch instead. The tension broke when security finally rushed in, and after a violent struggle, the intruders were caught. But even as calm returned, Aisha's heart was still racing for another reason entirely. When the guests had dispersed and the ballroom grew quiet, Zaydin approached her. He didn't ask how she found the bracelet. Instead, he whispered softly, "This belonged to my childhood friend. She gave it to me the last day I saw her. And I've kept it all these years." Her breath caught. Memories flooded back. The boy who used to play with her near the old mango tree, who once promised they would both chase their dreams no matter what life threw at them. She had been too young to understand then, but now she knew. Zaydin Malik wasn't just a billionaire. He was that boy. Her first friend. The one she lost when her family's struggles forced them to move away. Tears welled in her eyes as she realized the truth. Fate had brought them back together in the most unlikely way. They talked for hours that night after the chaos, catching up on lost years. He listened intently to her struggles, the weight she carried, and the dreams she had buried under responsibility. For the first time in years, someone looked at her not as a waitress, not as invisible, but as someone who mattered. Days turned into weeks. Zayden kept finding ways to help her without wounding her pride. He paid for her brother's school anonymously, arranged better medical care for her mother, and slowly reminded her what it felt like to dream again. But what moved her most wasn't his wealth, it was that he still remembered the little girl who once shared her bracelet with him. In the end, Aisha didn't just find a bracelet. She found her lost hope, her forgotten strength, and a reminder that even when life feels merciless, destiny has a way of surprising us. So, if this story touched your heart, if it made you believe even for a moment that miracles still happen, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs hope, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Because sometimes, the stories we least expect are the ones that remind us we're never truly alone.